These last couple of weeks, I've been doing something that I'm kind of ashamed of. What is that? Stress eating. So how do you stop overeating when you are on an intermittent fasting schedule that you tend to eat too much at the end of that window before you start to fast? Hi, I'm Reggie from Reggie Edited. I'm so glad that you're here today. I want to talk about this binging problem. Some of the audience has left comments regarding how to stop overeating at the end of the day. That is a good question. Sometimes we just want to continue to snack, and I've heard that from you, and I have done that as well. And especially these last couple of weeks, I have been doing that thing. There are ways that we can break this habit. And that's simply what it is. And that's one of my tips is you have to start a new habit to break the old habit. And I think that might be something you want to look at. So if you're eating dinner and that's your last meal of the day, you want to eat until you're satiated. Sometimes you may need to switch it around. Maybe you eat heavier at lunchtime and then you eat a lighter dinner. Because if you're already satiated from the lunch, then I think you could start a habit of just eating lighter there at dinner, and then maybe you have one small snack. And when I mean a snack, it means about fruit. So instead of reaching for something in a box, tell yourself, okay, don't reach for anything that you can read ingredients on. And if that is something you can start first, is making that small change. Once again, if you can read it on a box, then it most likely is processed. And if you are going to snack, then you try fruit or you try something that is whole foods that just kind of keeps you to get over that hump. And then I would say at the end of the day, it's like maybe I just don't snack and snack earlier in the afternoon. If you're that person that really needs to eat in between meals, then do that just in between meals and not at the end of mealtime of the day. And maybe that might help you better, and you might feel like you're not being gypped for the day and you're not eating enough. Because if you're eating low calorie density, then you can eat larger volume of food, not necessarily eating the higher calorie density food, right? And so while you're on your weight loss challenge or your weight loss goals, eat more volume of the low calorie density food, and that should keep you satiated. So you may have to bump up a little bit on the carb side, like a rice, or a little bit more of the potatoes. So sticking with high water content foods will help keep you satiated. You can eat more of it and then carry that through for the rest of your day. Maybe it's say 8 o'clock. Then you'll say, this is my time that I will stop eating at 8 p.m. every day. Set it up that way. Know that you're going to commit to it and begin again. The one thing I would say for myself is that when I eat alone, I have distractions, then I will continue to eat more than I should. So for instance, the television is a distraction. The telephone, meaning your cell phone, is a distraction. You're looking at social media and maybe swiping through. That's been an issue for me. And then I just continue to eat, and then I'm grabbing more food. But I think if we eat and be more mindful, meaning that you take your time eating slower, which is another tip, eat slower, really be mindful of your thoughts. If you eat with other people, that can also be a distraction too, right? We're talking, we're having fun, you're socializing. Or if you're eating at home, you're still getting some distractions. But if you just take the time and maybe you put the cell phone away, and for you and your spouse or you and your family, then that will slow you down on eating. And then when you're finished, then you feel like you actually were productive in what you chose to put on your plate. The other thing about eating slowly is that the brain takes like 20 to 30 minutes and sometimes longer to send the message that you're actually full. And so if you're eating fast in those 20 minutes, your brain didn't even catch up to signal to your body that you are already satiated and you're finished. Eat slowly. So it's scientific and it's also mental. about how much we're taking in and not necessarily needing those extra calories. The other thing about eating mindfully, you want to pay attention to your thoughts. Are you having negative talk within yourself, or is it positive talk? If you're saying, you know, I deserve that piece of cake, I deserve an extra slice of pizza, whatever the case is that you're eating, and I'm hoping that's a veggie pizza, you need more positive enforcement to yourself, is that you deserve to be nutritious. You deserve to be healthy. Therefore, I'm eating whole food, plant-based, more of it, without always judging how much you're intaking. Because if you're thinking about every calorie coming in, it's just not a way to sustain your lifestyle change, because that's what it is. It's not a diet. And so if you're giving yourself talk, I have to stick to this diet, and using those words, that's a form of negative talk, which will derail you and get you completely off your game. A question I would ask myself when I begin to eat is this a full meal, or is this just grazing and snacking? But the main question I would say, am I truly hungry, or am I just simply dehydrated? Because we can confuse the two, especially when we're fasting extended fast. You may feel like you're hungry, you have those stomach pains, you know, right? And you feel like, oh, I gotta eat something, I'm not gonna make it one more hour. Ask yourself, did I drink enough water? So from my last video, that's what we talk about, is fusion water and how to make it more lively for you to drink more and consume more. Because if you are dehydrated, you may feel like you're hungry, but you're definitely not. Your body's telling you that it's thirsty. I think that will help you a lot, and I know it's helped me, is that I'm trying to drink a glass of water before each meal. Now, I usually only eat one meal, and then that leads me to the question to ask you, are you eating on OMAD, which is 1 meal a day? If you are, that could tend to put you in a box where you feel like you're just not getting enough, and your body is saying, I need to continue to eat more, and that's where we overeat. Some people are not made to do OMAD, and you may need to break it down into 2 meals, and so that they're 2 smaller meals, or maybe a larger meal for the first meal, and then a smaller meal for the second. And I think you will see how your body will react and pick up if you are feeling like you're stagnated in the weight loss. So think about it that way. If you're eating OMAD, think about breaking it into 2 meals, because I think you will see a difference, and your body reacts pretty quickly to it, especially if you've been on OMAD for a long time like myself. And I broke my meals up into 2, like maybe a large snack, and then I had a regular meal. And I noticed that it kind of set the scale in the right direction again. And you know what? It's something to try. And you know, the other thing I would say would probably be my final tip about how to change the way we eat and to refrain from overeating is to train yourself to portion control. You know, portion control isn't all doom and gloom. You're not counting calories. So just look at your plate. And I've talked about this in many videos here, that think about your 50-50 plate. Also, maybe look at the size of your plate. Is it too big? Is it the regular size that seems to be getting larger every time I buy a new set? 11 going up to 13 inches. That may not be the right size for you. And it's definitely psychological. So take the smaller plate, like your lunch plate or your salad plate. Eat your full meal there. And then if that is not enough, then refill the plate again with the same foods. Continue to stick to that whole food, plant-based, or if it is any meat products, please do minimize it and minimize the carbs if you're eating it with meat. I hope that these tips will give you a chance and reset your weight loss goals, because you can always start again the next day. So keep searching for that perfect bite and balance, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.